So, to promote my upcoming book, The Art of Inner War, I'm going to read the prologue and the first chapter to let you get a feel of how the book is going to go. The Art of Inner War by Logan Huntington Bixler, 2025. Prologue, The Call to Arms. Every age renames its vices and calls them virtues. Men are told that conviction is pride, that restraint is cowardice, that honesty must bend to convenience. Yet beneath fashion and noise, truth remains fixed. What is right does not bend, and what is false cannot last. The first duty of a man is not to argue with the world, but to bring his own mind into order. When he stands aligned with the truth, he becomes immovable, even when alone. When he abandons it, no crowd can protect him. Justice is not a debate. It is the geometry of conduct. Honor is not ceremony. It is the continuity of right action. Truth is not consensus. It is the ground on which all things either stand or fall. This manual begins at that ground. It is written for the modern man, the one caught between noise and silence, between inherited strength and the confusion of new ideals. It is a manual for fighting the only war that matters, the war within. You will find no indulgence here, no blame, only discipline, method, and clarity. Each page is a field instruction, a reflection, or a drill. Open anywhere. Begin where you are. If you meet yourself, fight honestly. If you lose, stand again. Victory is repetition. Chapter 1. Buried before becoming. Darkness, compression, the first law of becoming. Nothing begins in the light. Every life starts in obscurity, pressed beneath the weight of circumstance, hidden from recognition, unnamed and unseen. The seed does not ask for its place in the soil. The soil simply takes it. There is no negotiation, no early permission, no softness in the burial. A seed begins in confinement. This is nature's first lesson. Before a thing can rise, it must endure the pressure of its own beginning. The earth above is not merely weight. It is history, inheritance, accident, environment, and fate. All that comes before a person's awareness becomes the soil in which they are placed. Some soil is gentle, some soil is harsh. Some soil is poison, masquerading as nourishment. Some soil is richness, hidden beneath severity. The seed does not choose. It receives. This is not injustice. It is the first condition of being alive. In the darkness of its burial, the seed contains everything it will one day become. Not in its final form, but in its coded inclination towards form. A great tree is not evident in its early shape. Potential is silent. It announces nothing. The world is loud. Beginnings are quiet. Inside the seed, pressure begins its work. Internal walls strain. Something pushes outward while the shell holds inward. It is in this tension, not comfort, that the first strength forms. A seed that opens too easily dries out before growth. A seed that refuses to open at all rots in its own safety. Only a seed that bears the strain long enough becomes capable of its first break. Before the first sprout, there is a first fracture. The crack that forms is not a failure. It is the beginning of becoming. From the outside, nothing changes. The soil sees no movement. The world sees no progress, but the seed has already begun its transformation. Inside pressure, the first identity forms. Inside darkness, the first direction is chosen. Inside the place that seems dead, life begins its most important negotiation. Every life, quietly, without witness, must decide whether to remain a stone or attempt to rise. The seed makes its decision without words. It pushes. There is no guarantee of success. There is no promise of gentle passage. There is only the instinct to rise against what buries it. This is the first courage, not battle, not defiance, not endurance of the face of the storms, but the willingness to begin in conditions that do not feel survivable. Buried before becoming, the seed does not know sunlight. It knows only pressure. It knows only confinement. It knows only struggle without audience. Yet from this unseen battle, the great tree is shaped. Every fracture becomes future strength. Every push becomes a future root. Every moment of trapped stillness becomes a future ascent. The seed is not powerless. Its power is simply not yet visible. And so the first law of becoming is this: what begins in darkness is not defeated by it. It is defined by what chooses to do there.